How's it going? So we're getting our garden out for the spring. And last time we left off, we were working on planting green beans and peanuts. So we soaked the peanuts and the green beans, we soaked it in a glass of water overnight. I got them in paper towels right here, kept them nice and moist. And we got our peanuts here. A little bit more information on those. They're Fastia giata peanuts. They're pinstriped peanuts. They're from Ecuador. And as you can see, since we soaked them overnight, look at that. They're already sprouting. So we saved several days of sprouting by doing it this way. And we're gonna put them in there, 2 or 3 per pot. If we didn't soak them, they would spend 3 or 4 days in their pots, just trying to get saturated with water. And you know, I've seen some consequences from that. Sometimes you don't see your peanuts sprouting, and then when you go to dump your pots out after several weeks, you find out that they're all moldy. They got molded and died, I guess you would say. But since we soak them, it gives us a head start. We see that they're sprouting. We know they're viable, and we're putting them in fresh soil, so there's a lot less chance of them molding. So we're gonna do like 2 peanuts. Going faster because, like I said in the previous video, planting seeds is boring. So let's get going. 2. These have they've swollen to double in size. As you know, the last video we did the tomatoes. We had the small cells. These are larger cells. These are they're 9, 3 by 3, and there's plenty of room to accommodate these larger seeds. So there we go. Peanuts. Pinstriped peanut from Ecuador. All right. What else we got? We got the rattlesnake pole. This can grow up to 10 feet tall. It's got purple flowers, which, I mean, it's always wonderful when the vegetable plants you're growing also add some beauty to your garden. Just have some purple flowers. It's gonna look nice. They have purple striped pods. Same thing. Look, these have swelled up to double this size. Look, this one's already sprouting. That's why we soaked them. 2 per pot. Let's get going. We don't want to get bored. You know, when it's seed planting time, you know, it's not the funnest time. You're just putting seeds in pots, man. When the fun comes is when we see things maturing, we see things flowering. You know, we get to prune things and, you know, manipulate it to the way we want it to grow. And but the planting of the seeds is not the funnest. So we just get going. Look at all these. All these are, you can see little root shooting out on all these. And that's the advantage of soaking them overnight. So we've got, these are 9-cell pots. We're putting 2 to 3 beans or peanuts per pot. We're using our homemade seed starting mix, which is 50% sifted garden soil and 50% peat moss. And the rattlesnakes are done. Now, we're not filling our pots up with dirt, as I said before, and poking a pencil in each one and blah, blah, blah. 2/3 dirt, put them on there. We're going to cover this with dirt and just level it off. Make sure, and we're using moist seed starting mix. So there's that. Be right back. Aren't you glad I prepared these ahead of time? I'm thinking about y'all. So, the last variety is a Calima green bean. It's a bush bean. The rattlesnake is a pole bean. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna grow 10 feet tall. And in the old school days, you would put a pole in the ground and grow it up the pole. That's why it's called a pole bean. These are bush beans. They're gonna grow, 2-3 feet tall, a little bush. And the Calima bean, I've never grown before, but the reason I got it is it's advertised as a French fillet type of bean. Grows 5 to 6 inches long. A thin, tender bean. And I'm assuming the reason I ordered it was it sounds like it's a French bean, an Ecuadorian, which is a smaller, more delicate, more tender green bean. It's got a little more finesse to it. And being a chef, if you know anything about Ecuadorians, they're the cream of the crop as far as green beans, because they're thin, they're small, they're tender, and you don't really have to worry about them being stringy or any of that. So I'm hoping that these are true to the Ecuadorian variety of French beans. Now the reason I'm growing rattlesnake is because it's hardy. And here we are in South Texas. The hardy green beans that grow in the Southwest, they can tolerate heat. And it gets hot here. We're in San Antonio, so this gets hot here. So we should get some beans off of these when the weather is fair, but when it gets hot, we still want to get some green beans, and we're going with the rattlesnake this year. Usually I go with the Kentucky Wonder, which is also known as the Texas Homestead. And it's a heirloom variety that's also heat tolerant. But we're just going with the rattlesnakes because I think they look cool with their striping. Here we are, just go, go, go. And the, you know, one thing about the larger green beans that people don't realize is that if you grow them full to their full maturity, you don't have to eat them like a green bean. The beans inside will get really big, and the skins will get really thin. They'll start drying out, and you can actually harvest those and use them kind of like a pinto bean. They're going to be nice and dry. You can cook them like pinto beans, and I'm thinking with the rattlesnake with the purple stripes, that might look really nice in a soup if we do like a bean soup and have a white bean with a purple stripe. So we're going to see what happens with that. We got our delicate French beans. We got our peanuts growing. We started our bell peppers yesterday. And we got 6 different varieties of heirloom tomatoes. I'll give you more information on those and why I chose those. One of those varieties is a black vernissage, which grows about, I don't know, large marble size. And what impressed me about those last year is when all the other tomato plants petered out in the heat of Texas, these tomatoes just kept going. They kept producing. They kept producing until I killed them off. And you know, they didn't have the best flavor. Some of them have way better flavor. Hopefully we'll get them to work so we can you know, delve into those a little better as they're coming on along this year. But those black vernissage, they just didn't give up, and they kept producing. They have a decent flavor, and you know, most tomato plants will quit setting fruit around 80 degrees. When it gets above 80 degrees, a lot of tomato plants will quit producing or slow down production. But these black vernissage, man, they just kept kicking all summer long. So I'm hoping you'll stick around to the channel, and we'll get these covered up with dirt. I do think I have some trees coming in tomorrow. I ordered some trees, some Florida maples, some American black walnuts, I think some candy pecans, and some chestnuts. Now, chestnuts apparently are like an American, they used to be cherished in America, and a blight came through one year way back like 100 years ago and wiped out almost all the chestnuts in America. And some people found some chestnuts that had survived in the wild and nurtured those, propagated them, you know, kept them going. And so there's a chance we could have American chestnut trees again if we all come together and help those propagate. So I'm really excited about those. And hopefully those will come in tomorrow. And then we're going to go ahead and pot those in some large pots I have. We're going to try to get them going and get them to sprout for the spring. We're going to really baby them and see if we can get their root growth really good. And then we're going to plant them in the ground. But when we get them, they're just going to look like twigs. They're going to be dormant, bare root, and that's kind of exciting, I think. Anyways, thanks for checking out the channel, and we're going to keep growing. I'm going to keep doing what I do, and we can learn this together. I'm going to try to grow a food forest from scratch. And any comments you have, any tips you have, you can go. Feel free to leave them for me. And thanks for coming by, and like and subscribe. Thank you.